Previously on The Walking Dead, Dead City.
This is not entertainment.
And everything was lovely once again.
Basically, Maggie has lost Herschel due to this Croat guy, right? The stuff they were bringing up, the expressions, the way, Lauren Cohen and JDM were acting, like, they even act different. Like, they've got a new aura about them in this show, and it's really, really crazy. And Maggie's like, you do, because when he took my son, you know what I heard from him? Oh, shit, man. Seriously? Man, so Maggie and Negan are on their way to Canada.
Yeah, Timbits are that irresistible. Try new lemon or raspberry. Just $1.99 for a 10-pack. It's summer.
I mean, everybody would go across the country for that.
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for The Walking Dead, Dead City. And in today's video, we're going to be doing our weekly review. This is for Season 1, Episode 2, titled Who's There?
We make one badass team.
It takes a monster to make one.
Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for The Walking Dead, Dead City. And in today's video, we're going to be doing our weekly review for this week's episode of The Walking Dead, Dead City. This is going to be my review for Season 1, Episode 2, titled Who's There? So, man oh man, the second episode of The Walking Dead, Dead City. We have 4 episodes remaining, and we have now seen 2 of them. What did we think of the second episode of Dead City? Well, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great episode. Once again, Dead City continuing to impress me. I think that this show is easily one of the most exciting shows of 2023, if not the most exciting show so far. And I even checked the ratings for the first episode, and it sounds like even over 1 million people still watched the first episode on cable TV, which is rare these days too. Most people watch subscription services, a lot of people, do that kind of stuff, and somehow the Dead City pilot still almost got 2 million views. Not quite, but almost got 2 million views, so that's incredible. That shows you how good Dead City really is, if you ask me. Now, let's get into this episode. So, this episode, of course, continuing right off after the ending of the last episode where we had the one lady that ran into Negan and Maggie, and she blew out Negan's match, right? So in this episode, we see that she captured their stuff. She took the, Negan's bag and stuff like that. And they're kind of chasing after her, trying to kind of catch up to her, right? And she goes up like an elevator shaft or whatever. She goes across like a zip line. But then you get a bit of a twist where it's like she actually throws the thing back at them. She wants them to follow her, So Negan goes first because Maggie insists. Negan goes over and then sends the zip line back to her. And then Maggie, of course, sees like a huge herd of walkers, like, almost like 10 to 20 stories down. And she's just like, okay, what the frig? And she kind of gets a little scared, but then she goes across the zip line, and she almost makes it, but then she has a little bit of trouble making it to the other side of the building. Negan tries to help her, but she insists. She's like, no, I got it, But yeah, that was a pretty scary moment because Maggie was kind of caught there for a second and the thing wasn't going forward. So that was a pretty intense scene right there. Now, we also get to see in this episode the brand new Hilltop community, which has been relocated. We get to see Ginny, who is being introduced to like her new school and stuff like that. And she's kind of like settling in and stuff like that. And I'm not really going to go over this plot too much because there's not too much that goes down, but we do get a small peek at, this new Hilltop location. One thing I'll say is that it's definitely a lot better than the burnt out version of Hilltop in the main Walking Dead, so I can understand why Maggie relocated. But in this episode, Jenny kind of sneaks out by the end of the episode. She kind of ends up sneaking out of there, and she's going to probably try to go find Negan in New York, based off of what we can see in the episode 3 promo. Now, in terms of Maggie and Negan, they run into the lady who stole their bag, of course, and, Maggie's like, give me that, and Negan is like, oh, no, it's okay, you can go through my stuff, I don't really give a shit, and, she kind of is shocked by this, so she trades, like, I think it's like a pigeon or something to Negan, and Negan and her kind of, like, low-key make friends and stuff like that, and he's like, okay, pigeon lady, can you take us to the burnt-out building there? And she's like, blah, 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 in some other language, and he's just like, okay, so I think, in other words, that means hell freaking no. So that was really cool. And Maggie's like, okay, you done? Like, did you make your friend? Okay, good. Let's get out of here, right? So that was pretty awesome. And they then run into a entire group of survivors in the city, right? Yeah, they run into, a big dude with the arrow gun. They run into another girl with like some sort of like drill gun or whatever. And it's like this major group of survivors that are holding up inside of the city. Now, Negan and Maggie kind of lie to these people, and they say that they're on their way to Canada, which I found kind of interesting because I myself am Canadian, so I like the reference. It's pretty awesome. But anyway, they're of course not on their way to Canada. They're trying to get Herschel back, but they're lying to these people because they don't know if they can trust them, right? So these people lock them up, and basically they lock them up inside of this like shithole bathroom. Which, of course, Negan points out. And then we get probably one of my favorite scenes of the episode where Negan talks about the Croat, right? And how he knows him, and he goes fully in detail. Now, he mentions that apparently this is back in the day when Negan and the Saviors were just getting introduced to the kingdom. And apparently the Croat killed, like, a young, innocent little girl. And when Negan saw the Croat do that, I mean, he always knew he was unhinged, you know what I mean? But he knew in that moment that when he killed one of the kingdom little girls that, no, this is definitely not going to happen. This is not going to work out. And apparently Negan actually made an attempt on his life. He tried to kill him. And he took his ear off, which therefore explains why he's missing the ear. But, he kicked him out of the Saviors. He's never seen him since, of course, until now, right? So yeah, that's pretty crazy. And I think in terms of that scene, I mean, I thought it was really good. I like getting the lore. I like getting the explanation about it. And I think it was overall very, very well done. Now, meanwhile, while you've got Negan and Maggie and their situation, we also have Armstrong in this episode. Now, Armstrong, after the last episode, is kind of wandering around on his own in the city. Obviously, his men are dead and, everything else. And we don't get too much on him in this episode, but we do get one moment where he goes into this, like, apartment building or something, which I kind of presume is either his or it's his brother's, because it looks like he may have had a brother because he was holding up this picture of him and this other guy that looked to be around his age. So I would assume that maybe his brother died and this is like his house or something. But he goes back there and, it's a very small scene, but it's definitely something where I feel like we're going to go back to something like that. We're going to go back to that scene and it's going to mean something in the future. But I thought that scene was pretty interesting. And then he gets captured, right? So, of course, he gets captured, he's, like, thrown into this net or whatever, and, if you go to the end of the episode, I guess we'll kind of cover this now. The Croat captures Armstrong. He captures him, and it's kind of a cliffhanger of the episode of, like, what's going to happen now? The Croat now has Armstrong held captive, and what is he going to do with him? That sort of thing. Now, have these two met before? It doesn't seem like it, because I feel like he would have said something, so definitely going to be interesting to see how that plays out now that the Croat has Armstrong held captive. Which should be interesting next episode. Now, Maggie and Negan do end up kind of proving themselves to these people. Negan kind of says, like, yeah, I could kill you guys right now. And even holds one of them at, like, knife point. He's just like, I could kill you right now, or we could all just join together and stop acting like idiots and, join up, right? So Negan kind of makes it pretty clear to them, right? Now, you get some of the Croats people that attack them in this building. And they've got these, like, really, really cool, like, helmets on with, like, these spikes and stuff, which I thought was really cool. And they end up killing a lot of them. They end up killing a good bunch of them, and we then get to see unfortunately one of them holds the pigeon lady captive. Negan of course tries to talk him down, but unfortunately she ends up getting killed and Negan's not able to save her, which is kind of sad because she seemed kind of innocent and she didn't really want to hurt anybody, but unfortunately the other guy has to kind of put her down and stuff like that, which is pretty sad. Again, I'm having a hard time remembering the names of some of these characters, so you guys are going to have to bear with me a little bit. I'm going to have to kind of start keeping track of some of these new names, but the new group I like. I like their style. They've got a really cool, unique vibe to them, and I did find it kind of sad when the pigeon lady died. I don't know. I found that kind of sad. Negan was kind of making friends with her, and then, she died, and it is what it is, right? But now let's get to the best scene of the frickin' episode. I love this scene. Basically, Negan takes the guy that, of course, killed the pigeon lady, takes him captive, and uses him as leverage against the rest of Croat's men, right? And he goes down there, and this felt like OG Negan. This felt like a classic Negan moment where he walks out there and he's like, knock, knock, who's there? Butter. Butter who? Well, you better be careful because it's about to rain, you know? And he friggin' murders them, and the blood just gushes everywhere. And Negan covers these people in the guy's blood. I mean, that scene is so good. I love that. And you got Maggie that's like watching this the whole time, like, holy shit, you know? And now Negan's doing it to defend Maggie, you know? The last time he did crazy shit like this is when he was going against Maggie, right? And now it's like you get this old school savior acting like Negan back, just for a split second. But it was such an exciting scene that I might even say it's my favorite scene of the show so far, to be honest. I mean, it was so crazy to see Negan act like that, you know? And he's not doing it because he's, like the guy that he used to be. That's just the way Negan operates. You know, you turn on him and you're against him and you fuck with him, he will do that kind of shit. And it proves to you how much you do not want to mess with Negan. But there's so much of the essence of the old Negan back in that scene that it was so good. I love it. The knock-knock jokes and the frickin', murdering murdering the guy and then letting the blood just spill on top of the rest of the men. Oh my god, man, that was so good. And it was a scare tactic too, you know? I mean, Negan knew what he was doing and it frickin' worked, and I absolutely loved it. Now, towards the end of the episode, Negan and Maggie are kind of honest with these new people. They say that, the reason why they're here is because Maggie's son Herschel got captured, and they kind of decide that they're going to help each other out and, stuff like that. So, in terms of this episode, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. The only other thing that we did get in this episode was like that minor flashback between Maggie and Herschel, which was, pretty quick there. Like that little flashback and like Herschel maybe not, kind of being like a grumpy teenager, that type of thing. But that was just a minor clip. But yeah, in terms of the episode, I really liked it. I like seeing the relocated hilltop. That's one thing I didn't expect to see. The knock-knock joke from Negan was the peak for me. That was the best part of the episode. I really like the new group so far. I really like them a lot. In particular, the main dude with like the bald guy with the with the beard and stuff like that. I like him. He's really cool so far. Again, I'm gonna have to start learning these names, but I thought they were really, really awesome. But yeah, in terms of this episode, I'm gonna give it another perfect 10 out of 10. This show has literally been flawless to me so far. I think everything is exactly the way it needs to be. The visuals are great. The story is great. The characters are awesome. In particular, Negan in this episode. Negan really made this episode, and yeah, I loved it. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of episode 2 of The Walking Dead: Dead City. Post your comments down below, and of course, if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this video, make sure to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any other videos for The Walking Dead: Dead City. And should have follow me on Dan's The Walking Dead reviews on Instagram, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos for Dead City. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.